We all are looking for a sense of purpose. One of the top three motivators is that we feel an attachment, we feel personal meaning to the work we're doing. We feel like we're making a difference. And so what we want to be careful of is just assigning routine work that doesn't have that meaning to it. So even though you're assigning you might be assigning this piece of a project, you absolutely want to attach it to a higher goal. And one of the most inspirational stories that I think really articulates this is, going back years and years to NASA. And legend has it, John F. Kennedy, the president at the time, was touring NASA, walking around, introducing himself to people and finding out what their role was at NASA. So he comes across a janitor who's changing a light bulb. And he says to the janitor, "What's your name and what is your job here?" And instead of saying, "Oh, my job is to keep the place clean and to keep the lights working," the janitor says, "My name is so-and-so and my job is to put a man on the moon." And I love that greater sense of purpose. So you absolutely know that individual was going to go to the nth degree with his job. And that's what we're trying to bring to our team, that greater sense of purpose, so that when they work on something, they're able to make better decisions. They're able to invest more of their discretionary energy, so that collectively as a team, we all benefit. People are more engaged when they have a sense of attachment to the work. Now, how are you going to know what ignites a fire within them? The key obviously is to ask. And a great question is to consider the with them, or in other words, what's in it for me? Of course, it's helpful to share what our goal is, but we also want to consider what their goal is and ideally look for a mutual goal. And that's where we're going to really have the magic. Now, I remember years and years ago when I was very new to delegating, and I was asking a team member to help me with something. And I said to her, "Can you take this off my hands? Because I hate this type of work, and I'm so busy that I just can't get this done. So can you help me out?" And so that is a great example of what not to do. It was very much self-serving, very much aligned to my goal. And she very appropriately called me on it. And I view, there's moments in your life where there are real learning opportunities. And this was a real learning opportunity for me. And she said, "Anne, if you had really appealed to what you knew about me," which was that she really enjoyed this kind of work, it landed right in her sweet spot, and it collectively would help us to achieve a higher level goal, then I'm going to have much more success delegating. So great lesson for me. Sometimes you do have to have these stumbles in order to learn. So the key is to consider what's in it for me. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. What's in it for me? The with them.